So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another Zombies video, where today we are back with a Q&A, this series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed, but let's get into it. Here we go, and enjoy. So the first question of the day is from RFG115, and you say, why do you hear a child laughing or crying on the stage in Kino der Toten? So all around Kino, just like most of our zombies maps, there are ambient noises going off in the background, whether it is people, women, men, babies crying or screaming. We sometimes hear small, strange noises such as knocking, people banging on things, and then we hear other things such as sound effects like a drill. There are many ambient noises in our zombies maps, but as you say in this question, why do we hear a child laughing and crying in Kino? And the only answer I can really give you to this is the same as any other question you would ask about any background noise in any other map, and it's either down to us hearing the voices of the past, or it means nothing and they're just random noises to add to the atmosphere put in by Treyarch. Of course, we all want to believe the first answer. We want to think there's a story reason behind everything. I mean, it's possible the noise of this child, this girl crying in Kino, is one that was experimented on previously, since we know Kino der Toten was a Group 935 research facility, and what was special about this place is it was one of the main locations where they created the Undead Army. Obviously, to create zombies, you need people, so could this crying girl be one of Group 935's experiments? Did they use her in their tests and eventually turn her into a zombie? I mean, we don't see child zombies in COD. I suppose she could have been an adult or a teenager, or maybe she wasn't turned into a zombie and Group 935 experimented on her for other reasons. It's very possible. The next question from Charlie Wally says, hey BOA, this might sound like a dumb question, but who is the announcer for the Chaos story in BO4? And that would be the High Priest of Chaos. This is him, the guy that we saw in 9. Now, how exactly he got to be our announcer, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we've already been told it's in the story. From the top of my head, I can't remember. Since most of the questions in these Q&A videos you guys ask about the Aether story, there's rarely any about Chaos, so I don't really research and go over the Chaos story too many times. But I do know the announcer is the High Priest if you listen to these quotes from him.
Bye-bye. Bonus points. Carpenter. Double points. Fire sale. Full power. Insta-kill. Max ammo. Kaboom.
And then if you listen to his audio quotes from 9.
The deed is done. A prize to be claimed. The challenge is finished. Another awaits.
There is a similarity in the voice. Also, maybe if you didn't know, but the voice actor is the same one who did Nikolai. You can kind of get that from the deepness in his voice. But yeah, really all I can do is answer your question, and the announcer is the High Priest. DCE says, hey BOA, do you think Samantha and Eddie will meet up with the Transit crew? Okay, so going back to the end of our zombie storyline, and of course this all depends on what Treyarch are going to do with BO5, whether they're going to reboot the Aether storyline or do a new one or just carry on with Chaos. We don't know, but for this question's sake, let's just say they were to carry on with Aether from where it left off, even though I don't believe that's going to happen, especially with Jason Blundell leaving now. This was kind of his story, so I don't think carrying on Aether is going to happen. The only way we would see it again is if it's rebooted. But if we carried on from where we left off, we know that our premise characters, Richtof and Takio, Nikolai and Dempsey, are dead. That goes for the Ultimus crew as well. And Victus are trapped in the Dark Aether along with the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty. Meanwhile, Samantha and Eddie are left as children to grow up in a new universe. But is it possible that the Transit crew somehow escape the Dark Aether and reunite with Samantha and Eddie? And that isn't too far-fetched because people, or should I say things, have escaped the Dark Aether before. Thousands of years ago when war broke out between the Apothicons and the Keepers, the Apothicons were eventually defeated and banished to the Dark Aether. And then we know sometime after in 5 AD, knowing that Earth had a gateway to Agatha, the Apothicons sent meteors of element 115 down to Earth, hoping that one day humanity would use it, wage war amongst themselves, which would in turn open up a rift that would allow the Apothicons to escape the Dark Aether. And that's exactly what happened. So the Apothicons have escaped this place before. why can't Victus? What if later on down the line, the transit crew find a way to escape, or Samantha and Eddie find a way to help them escape? With that, you have to remember that the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty, along with the Apothecans, are also trapped in the Dark Aether, and the Keepers as well, so potentially if Victus did escape, all of those other things and people would as well. Perhaps they wouldn't want to risk that. We don't know. It's definitely an interesting idea though, and that reminds me, we also have a radio from Stuhlinger. This can be found in Classified, where we don't 100% know what he's talking about. It still doesn't really link up to anything we've seen in Zombies so far, but he says this.
Is this thing on? Richtofen! Hey, Richtofen! You've been gone from my head a really long time. I gotta be honest, I'm freaking out a bit, man. It's so quiet. I can actually hear myself think. Do you know what that's like? It's not nice at all. So, listen, buddy, old pal, we gotta talk. You sent us here, of all places, but you forgot to tell us what to do. It's dark, it's damp, it's just really filthy. I think the roaches are crawling with roaches. How is that even possible? Wait, shoot. Am I even talking to the right Richtofen? Oh, you could be the other one, right? Or the other one. Yeah, you know what? Just go talk to your Richtofen pals at the hoity-toity Ricky Gang Clubhouse and find out what the we're supposed to be doing.
So we can hear Stuhlinger attempting to contact Richtofen. He says that he's been gone from his head for a really long time. He says, you've sent me somewhere, but you forgot to tell me what to do. It's dark, it's damp, it's filthy, it's quiet. And then at the end of the phone call, he questions if he's even contacting the right Richtofen. But what's strange about this is everything that Samuel is describing, we haven't seen happen yet in Zombies. You could say, well, this was referring to Call of the Dead, or Tag der Toten, when they were awoken from their cryogenic chambers and sent to Siberia. But we can even see from the intro cutscene of Tag, they were sent straight there. They were told what to do, and the place wasn't dark, damp or filthy. They arrived in the lighthouse where it was bright. Yes, it was cold. I suppose you could say it's damp if it's cold, but this phone call doesn't describe Tag der Toten, so it must be somewhere else. And what if what Samuel is describing is the Dark Aether? He says Richtofen's voice has been gone from his head for a really long time, which makes sense because Richtofen's dead. How is he supposed to contact him? And also, the Dark Aether is nothing. So of course it would be dark, damp, quiet, and even more so, to back that up, Samuel only learnt of multiple other Richtofens during Tag der Toten. So this phone call can't be before, it must be after. Samuel must have been making this call to Richtofen from inside of the Dark Aether. Hence why he's saying, you've sent me here but you forgot to tell me what to do, because at the end of the Tag cutscene, Richtofen says, goodbye Samuel. Victus then gets banished to the Dark Aether, and that's it. Richtofen is killed, and the voice in Samuel's head is no more. Samuel believes Richtofen has sent him here, which isn't exactly the case, but he never told him what to do. So Victus are still alive, they are trapped in the Dark Aether, it's just a case of whether we'll see them again. Personally, I don't think so. Like I said many times, unless we have a reboot, then maybe. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Psycho Kid says, why does George Romero look human until you shoot him? When I saw this question, I thought, well, is this true? I've never noticed this before. And also, what do you mean by human? Because every time I've seen George in Call of the Dead, he looks exactly like a zombie. His eyes are glowing yellow. So I went in game, and you can see this right here is what George looks like normally before you shoot him. Definitely a zombie. But you are kind of right in a way. You can see when I pop a cap in his ass, he suddenly changes, his skin becomes kind of torn and bloody, and he definitely looks more like a zombie than he did previously. And then when you lead him back into the water to calm him down, he looks more like a human. Still pretty much looking like a zombie though, especially with the eyes, but you are kind of right in a way. Before you shoot him, George looks less like a zombie, and once you shoot him, he looks more like one. So that's weird, it's something I've never noticed before, that he actually changes. That was something pretty cool to find out. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have noticed this before. So guys, there we go, that is it, that is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Leave any questions that you have down below. I also want to say a massive thank you for supporting the videos on the channel lately. It's been absolutely amazing. Could we shoot for, I don't know, let's set a like goal of 2,115 likes. I don't know if we could do that. I believe in you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.